Joining me now is Stephen Coates. He's the principal at AGM Connect. Stephen, a pleasure to meet you.
Good morning, Pat. Nice to meet you as well.
Stephen, I know you've got a long history in annual general meetings, but what was the inspiration behind AGM Connect?
Well, there was twofold, really. I guess we've been looking to develop a virtual meeting platform with the view to trying to make meetings more accessible. But that was pre-COVID and hadn't got very far. And of course, COVID hit, and a few of our clients raised the point back in March to say, how are we going to be able to meet with the restrictions on getting together? So we put things into high gear and really put a bit of a hack together, a life hack, if you will, for mixing the two most important components: the ability to meet and verify someone's identity, and the ability to take voting at the same time, and multiple votes, right? Somebody may have 1,000 shares, somebody else may have 1,000,000 shares, so you can't do a poll like you can do on Zoom. It becomes a fairly technically challenging sort of thing to put together, but it's been a lot of fun.
Okay, so before we get into the actual platform and we talk about that, I want to talk about your history with annual general meetings because they've changed a lot over the years.
Yeah, they sure have, and it's been very interesting. You know, our team's been working with companies and managing running annual general meetings for 20 years. My first one was with a junior exploration company, and you know, not as well funded as anybody would have liked, and even at that time with a company that had to watch its budget. I spent 3 months designing an annual report and photos from the project sites, and 20 years ago that was a company's main focus on communicating with their shareholders. But of course, you know, as times have changed and the ability to communicate, and the annual meeting has become almost a perfunctory exercise. You know, from the cost of postage and printing, it's become a box ticking exercise, and we think there's an opportunity to improve that and engage with your shareholders and investors and make it you know, much more accessible.
Okay, let's get to the platform, because what I'm hearing is that you're making it more democratized, if you will. How much access, if I'm a shareholder and I come in through AGM Connect, how much access do I actually have to ask a question or you know, beyond just voting?
Yeah, it's the meeting runs very much as a regular meeting would, in that we've tried to envisage what's the process. What did the process used to be? An opportunity to ask questions, and it varies obviously from issuer to issuer. Some are more interested in hearing from their shareholders. Some are a little less interested in hearing from their shareholders. We always make the point that if someone's a shareholder, they are a supporter. They may not be happy about what share prices have done. Maybe not so much in the last year. The markets have been pretty good, but it's an opportunity for them to question management, and for management to bring them back on side or keep them on side and encourage them. There's an old adage in the exploration and mining world: the best place to find the next gold mine is beside an existing gold mine. And it's the same with investors. You know, by engaging with, talking to, answering the questions of your current shareholders, they're going to be some of your best ambassadors out in the marketplace.
Okay, we know that annual general meetings have been a competitive environment, if you will. It's an event management kind of a thing. What is your unique advantage? Well,
besides me, which in and of itself, I think brings a real value. We built a platform that is more cost effective than what the alternatives were, and there's certainly others in the market who are starting up a similar sort of process. But what we also bring to the table with Grove Corporate Services and the team backing up AGM Connect is working with companies to do things more efficiently, more effectively, managing in connection with the transfer agent and with Broadridge and all the machinations of the behind the scenes workings of what goes into having to mail out to your shareholders, and trying to make the delivery more interesting and hopefully as well more read and more accessed by shareholders, including links where shareholders have emails, emailing them their proxy and their ability to vote ahead of time. So it's not simply the provision of a platform for the meeting itself, but also working with the whole annual meeting process and trying to take a little bit of that stress and frustration off of the management teams, and leverage what we have known and continue to learn, and taking best practices from other issuers and bringing them into our practice as well.
Okay, Stephen, but what you're amassing through the course of all this is a tremendous database, if you will. Are there opportunities that AGM Connect can exploit or not exploit, expand into using that database?
Well, you're right. There's a huge amount of data involved in everything, I guess, in the world today, and I think certainly shareholders' information is private and confidential. And at the moment, we haven't designed this system in a way to do that. But you are right. There is a way, and certainly, to have people, when they come on the platform, allow and acknowledge that we can use their data. There is a potential, I think, there to be able to, even from one issuer to another, if we have the same shareholder holding shares in two companies who come through AGM Connect, and we've already corrected address issues, or we've collected an email address from one issuer to be able to use that for another issuer, I think will add to our efficiency and also improve and leverage for our clients.
And indeed increase the communication to the shareholder, which in my way of thinking over the last 30 years has actually gone down.
Agreed. I think you're right. We've seen in the industry for sure that whether it's large caps or small caps, I agree, a much more generic communication, press releases, and otherwise, a lot of companies target trying to find new investors, but don't spend a lot of time talking to their current shareholders. And the more we can do that, I think the better off everybody will be.
You have a great future ahead of you, Stephen. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks, Pat. I really appreciate it.
Okay, Stephen Coates, Principal, AGM Connect.